Alright, so the next compartment on the trailer will be the main kitchen and electrical compartment, and we'll go over the electrical controls separately. And first we'll start with the switch panel and then work our way to the other controls. So you can see on the switch panel, the first 4 switches control the lighting on the trailer. So here, this is the lights for the front box. Cabin lights is the lights on the driver's side of the trailer. So when we turn those on, you can see all of our lights come on in here as well as in our front box. The next light controls the lighting in the back compartment. Then the 4th switch is the lighting on the passenger side of the trailer. So when those are all on, you'll have the red indicator on the switch that's illuminated and shows that those circuits are on. The next circuit is marked as blower, and when we turn blower on, you'll see that now our gauge is on for our air suspension. So we have 2 controls here. The top control is for the passenger side airbag. The bottom control is for the driver's side airbag. To let air out of the trailer, we will bring the switches towards the front of the trailer. To raise the bags or lift the trailer, we'll go the opposite direction towards the rear of the trailer. And as you play with the air suspension when you're first getting used to it, you'll find that the normal pressure for ride height is around 60 to 65 pounds, depending on how you have the trailer loaded. Then, of course, when you get to camp, you'll probably want to bring it down some, which will let you have a little bit lower countertop height and also gets the tent seated pretty close to the ground. Of course, you can control each side separately to level it side to side using the levels at the front of the trailer. One thing on the air suspension of note is we talked about setting the ride height. So you can see in the fender on each side of the trailer you have a little gauge that says ride height. And what you want to do when you're airing your bags up is set the ride height to where we're even with the top of the tire and the line on that gauge. And that gives you plenty of wheel travel for off-road conditions and also for highway conditions. But that's where you want the trailer to be sitting before you take off from camp. The next switch on our panel is marked as accessory, and accessory controls a lot of features on the trailer. So accessory sends power to all of the outlets on the trailer, which are located here in this compartment. You have dual USB ports, you have a 12 volt or cigarette lighter outlet, which you can see there. Accessory also controls the power to the stereo. So in this case, since this is the first time this trailer's been kind of set up, you will press the red button on the stereo and you'll see that that comes on at that point. We'll go over the stereo again a little bit more in depth here shortly, but accessory also controls the outlets located here on the rear of the trailer, which are 2 cigarette lighter plugs. And then accessory controls the outlets inside the tent and the lights inside the tent. So I always set accessory or turn accessory on prior to setting up the tent. That way we have light inside the tent to make it a little bit easier to set everything up. The next switch on our switch panel is water pump. Water pump is obviously controlling the water pump. So when the trailer's full of water and you're ready to use the sink or the shower, you'll turn the water pump switch on and you'll be able to hear it faintly. You'll hear the pump come on. And the way that the water pump switch works is it pressurizes the water pump. So the water pump fills with water and sends water to all of the faucets. And then whenever you open the faucet, the pump will turn back on and have your water flow. So you'll need to leave, when you're at camp and you're using water, you need to leave the water pump switch on But when you're traveling or moving the trailer, or even if you're leaving camp for the day, I would recommend turning it off, and that way you don't accidentally drain all your water out while you're gone or while you're traveling. You also, if your trailer doesn't have water in it, you want to leave water pump switch off so you don't dry run the pump for very long. Last switch in the compartment is fridge. So that controls your power to your fridge unit. So if we turn this switch off, you can see our fridge turns off. So anytime we need our fridge on, we need to leave the fridge switch on as well. And so anytime it's got food or drinks in it, you want to keep them cold, this fridge switch has to stay on, even during towing or transit. The rest, of course, can go off, and you would pull basically with nothing on but the fridge switch. Next thing we'll cover on the trailer is the water level indicator. So you can see right here you have a button that says press. It's a momentary switch, so that will give you your water level. Now this gauge works off of tank 1, and you have 2 separate tanks on the trailer. So when you are filling, both tanks will fill at the same time, but when you're running, you'll want to run off of tank 2 first, so 20 gallons, until tank 2's empty, and then switch to tank 1, another 20 gallons, and you'll be able to see to monitor your water levels at that point. So always run off of tank 2 first, then go to tank 1, and we'll show you where the selector is further on in the video.